All right, I have done a little bit of work off camera. As you can see, I've filled in the front lines of this head. I am working on the second color right now, and what I want to show you is how it's blended. Right here, you can see that it's still kind of a blonde color. But over here, it looks like it's gone to the dark, and that's because I've over-rooted it with this darker color. So I'm going to work on this section right here so that you can see what I'm doing. There's only about from here to here worth of rooting on this head. The rest of this is just the length of the hair that makes it look a little deeper. So what I want to do is over root, semi-spaced out, this darker color right on top of the lighter color so that it fades very subtly and very naturally into this darker color. I'm going to do this right across this front section, and it's really spaced out up at the front, and then it's going to get thicker as I get to the unrooted section. And I'm doing this because if I don't, it'll give me a very clear line right here where the blonde is, and then it goes into the dark, and that looks really awkward and unnatural. So I want to make it so I have a very nice fade from the blonde baby hairs into the darker hair that's going to go for the rest of the head. I'm getting into the unrooted stuff, so it's going to be nice and thick. Again, I move the head to make it so that it's at the angle that my needle will go in naturally, so I don't have to twist my wrists or arms to get it to go in. Come in here and fill in a couple of the little spots. See, that piece went in really thick, so I'm going to pull a couple of those hairs out. So that's only one or so hairs, not a big pluggy hair in the middle of everything. And I will continue this working up around this forehead line until the head gets too cold to handle. I only root with a hot head. So I will heat the head at 250 degrees for about 10 minutes to heat it back up so that I can root again. And each rooting, I can usually get 20 to 25 minutes worth of rooting out of that head each time it gets hot. I'm trying to keep my needle at the angle that the hair is supposed to go in the head so that it will actually lay in this pattern as I comb it when it's finished. I'm going to come back over here and try to bring some of this forehead hair back a little bit. This is the only part of the head that I have the two colors fading into it. I have done before where I fade from the front color into a medium color and then into the dark color back here at the crown. But not on this head. I'm going to just stick with the two colors. And it's rooting just fine. I was worried for a little bit that rooting on top of the previously rooted head was going to cause problems, but it doesn't seem to be having any issues. Occasionally I'll get one hair that won't go in and I just have to try again. kind of fast at it these days, but if you don't know what you're doing, go slower and get those hairs in the exact spot where you want them so that you don't have big gaping holes on your head. I'm going to fill in this little area and then I'll stop the video. Okay, so this area is, as you can kind of see, it fades naturally from the lighter brown into the darker brown. There's a couple of spots right in here that aren't quite so dark, so I will come in here real quick and add just a couple of hairs. Some of these have more than I want, so I'm going to pull out a couple. Okay, I think that's it. So the blonde hair underneath has been cut, but the long hair hasn't, so you can see that it really comes forward very long. And I will trim that in a minute. I'm going to continue working around this head, following the hair patterns all the way around until this head is done. I'll do another video in a little bit when I get a little further along so you can see the progress. And I'll do a video when I get to the crown section so you can see how it turns into the swirl. All right, well, I'll catch up in a little bit. Here's a quick video of the progress so far. Maybe about halfway done. And I'll show you what the inside of the head looks like so you can see. That's enough hair to give a nice layer of glue. Just having a struggle focusing on it, but it's nice and long in there so that we can get a nice good layer of glue to hold that stuff down. At the front, you can see that there's a little bit of the blonde still showing at the very front, but it fades nicely into the back. Now this hair isn't like really short. I can still curl it and comb it into a little curl if I want to. On the sides it's a little bit short, so you probably might be able to get a partial curl. Crink it with your hands, give it a little bit of a wave. As you can see up close, it's very fine. It's very soft. You actually can't feel the bumpiness from the hair underneath of it, which is nice.